if a 0-0 Nation can find a way to move on in our bracket.
Well, that was a broadcast on the B stream. I got to see a little bit of it. I think it was close, so I'm hoping this was close as well, because this is one of the matchups I'm most excited for. We're getting into the bans here, and it looks like 0-0 is going for that Urshifu, and the Slowbro on the other side. One of the few matches where we're not going to have a Lapras.
Well, we most likely will have the Lapras, but
Lapras
no
ban,
Slowbro.
sorry, is what I meant. Lapras ban.
Very true, very true. Great Urshifu call out though. Make sure that BKZ doesn't have that unbelievably powerful game-changing Pokemon. Instead, take that away from them. It's okay to give Orangutan something else as long as their star player doesn't have their ace Pokemon.
We are going to actually prioritize, first of all, above everything else, the Umbreon.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But yeah, I assume that Lapras is going to go first. I definitely assume it's going to go first on the other side. 0-0 Nation probably pretty happy they're going to be able to grab that. But Umbreon, Lapras definitely switching back and forth throughout the day. I
like the Alolan Ninetales call out as well. Orangutan is known for playing some pretty solid speedster style of gameplay. If you take that Alolan Ninetales, you have a pretty good shutdown tool already in the bottom path. Orangutan having some tough choices to make. Zacian, though, a pretty good one to grab. You take the Blissey Pocket as well, and Orangutan is bringing this strategy from APAC East here to play.
This is looking like it's going to be very aggressive, but such a solid wall already on the side of 0-0 Nation. It's going to be difficult for any comp, whatever it is, to break through Alolan Ninetales and Lapras. We'll see if these are the other two locked in. A double support with the Trevenant is something that we've seen a good amount today. We're going to be switching over to the Eldegoss, but still a great sort of back and defender line for this team, which is now very hard to take down.
When you grab both Lapras and Trevenant, it's just showcasing a focus on your defender play to be exceptionally brawly. Both of these Pokemon can do a whole lot of damage on their own rights, not to mention the crowd control they can both provide. BKZ is going to grab that Machamp again. Last time we saw this was a submission Machamp, so a pretty good answer for some individual shutdown potential. Again, this Pokemon is very tough, though, when it tries to get up close and personal to a Pokemon like Alolan Ninetales. Final selection from 0-0 Nation was hovered over Leafeon, but a last-second pivot to the Delphox. They're looking to play this sort of front-to-back strategy, and again, Blissey has a really tough time utilizing their Unite move in a good spot if there is a Delphox Unite on the table. So we'll have to see if that can be impactful enough. Also, wild to see Inteleon this late in the draft.
Yeah, and potentially Leafeon that we didn't even see. Both of those very, very commonly either banned or picked right off the bat. We do know the Matsu was amazing Leafeon as well. So to see that switch, I like it though, because there's just so much chance that you just get picked off by either the Zacian on accident, or the Machamp just dunks you, or you get caught by liquidation, and then it's just game over from there. So I do like a little bit more of that ranged option. We'll see if that works out as we're going to go into the first game of Orangutan and 0-0 Nation. Let's bring back in Spraggles and Dupe Snacks.
Ooh boy, here we go, Dupe Snacks. What a game to bring you right here. Of course, we have Orangutan that looked incredible, and somehow 0-0 Nation, the Giant Slayers, down here in the losers bracket. One of these two teams is heading home. Their championship dreams are going to be dashed right now. The other continuing to climb towards those grand finals.
The Snack Spraggles Express got 3 stops on it, and we're kicking teams off at every single one. First up are these two, Orangutan, 0-0 Nation. 0-0 Nation certainly captured our hearts yesterday at the tail end of the day. However, Delphox was one of the Pokemon they brought on the B stage, and that was one of the matches they lost. They're still finding confidence in it. They're bringing it back here, something that you and I maybe raised our eyebrows about.
And we love raising our eyebrows at things. Just pop those bad boys up whenever we see something that we're not super in love with right here. As you can see, this red buff being handed over to the Eldegoss there in the top path, making it so formidable early. It already slows you down with its auto attacks. This just makes it even worse as they're looking to pick up a KO with it. Right now, the Chansey's in a little bit of trouble right here. So is the Machop, looking for a secure on this wild Pokemon. They do get it, and somehow able to get out of that horrible situation. However, Chansey does go down, as it looks like 0-0 Nation is continuing the aggression here.
Volp coming up, getting that KO is huge. Xingdi, way to screen and get BKZ out of trouble. Chansey bites it for the respect of that to try and keep BKZ going. It works out. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. And as the slows are coming in, it's looking dire here. Xingdi wasting a lot of time, really needs to be leveling up right now.
You can see 0-0 Nation wins 17% more of the time if they take the first basement Reggie. I want to repeat this for everyone who plays solo queue Pokemon Unite. You win 17% more of the time if you take the first basement Reggie. Obviously, such a power play, right, Dupe Snacks? It just gives your team-wide experience. It gives you a big pop of health. It also gives you whatever buff is there. It is a massive objective.
If it's good enough for one of the best teams on the planet, it's good enough for you at home. Basement Reggie, think about it. Now we got this Trevin Salto, great defender, caught in the mean look, and now they're level 4 getting shredded quickly. That is a great KO onto the Drizzile, and that's what you want to get online. That Inteleon with the liquidation can help take over the game, and Z-Ray is no exception here. Ice is playing incredibly far forward. They're a very aggressive defender. However, sometimes, and we've seen it a few times, it gets them caught out and in trouble. So Ice needs to find that balance, toe that line, engage when the team needs them to, and play a little safer when not.
Yeah, and you can see right here, this Eldegoss just absolutely having a field day in this top path. All the while, we see 0-0 Nation just able to clean up that central area. Finally, they take this Eldegoss down. Here comes the mean look, and it looks like you are going nowhere.
That's the Ice I'm talking about. Aggressive, jumps forward, catches the mean look, and just on the outside of that hula hoop is that Delphox stuck, and now we're shredding through this 0-0 Nation team.
This combination is so incredibly brutal, and I have to wonder what 0-0 Nation's plan is to deal with it. We can see once again we have Submission Machamp, a build that I do not love, but that's fine. It's not up to what I love. The question is, how are they going to use it in this match? This looks like a counter to this Alolan Ninetales, right? Submission Machamp becoming unstoppable, able to run through the blizzard and still grab the target that they are looking for. So it could be an incredible answer to what 0-0 Nation is trying to do with this Alolan Ninetales, a Pokemon that we've seen be absolutely dominant here today, as this first basement Reggie is up. We know if 0-0 Nation gets it, they got a good shot to win.
Yep, and they're going to try and leverage that, but playing far forward is again Ice, and this time willing to sacrifice themselves to catch the body, but the KOs are being caught back the other way. 2 KOs for Xingdi right there, and now 0-0 Nation can't close the gap. Ice did their job. You want to talk about playing aggressive? That was it, and they didn't need to toe the line because they knew their job was on a I'm not coming home mission, and they delivered perfectly.
0-0 Nation not looking incredible at the start here of this match. Feels like Orangutan is taking them in all of these fights. They may have gotten the exact kind of counter picks that they needed for this squad. The mean look has been devastating. We can see Machamp running like a silly goose right here, and it might not be able to make it home. Nice big snipe shot of Machamp, just barely taken down.
The snipe shot in Inteleon is a surprise to me, but Orangutan's gonna have to make it work. Nice bliss assistance on to Xingdi, who's gonna look for more opportunities. They got their first one, is the next one. Nice push and a Horn Leech. Fanciful Fireworks come out, so the healing is down, but Zacian isn't even in it. We don't have to worry about heals here as the Trevin is looking for a target. Ice is finally peeling back. They get blown up by the Delphox, caught with a little secondhand smoke there. Yikes. Now, does 0-0 Nation has an opportunity to actually get on this goal zone, and that's the dumpster part of Snipe Shot. It has no pierce, so that way they were still able to close that goal zone despite the Snipe Shots actually hitting their mark.
Yeah, really nice fight there from 0-0 Nation, getting right back into this game right there. And obviously, we saw that Delphox Unite move. The amazing thing about a Delphox is it's going to have a Unite move at basically every single big fight they run into. It just has such a low charge rate on that Unite. And now we can see something is breaking out here in the central areas. Lapras just gets ripped apart here by Orangutan, moving up towards this goal zone. The question is, does anyone want to break this? Do we want to put the 1 point in? Does it even matter? Or are they going to leave this here? 6 seconds now as Machamp is moving in. Zacian moving in. Can anybody score? And they do.
Fanciful Fireworks are there. The goal zone is closed out. Xingdi playing very far forward. Nice Machamp Unite catches one. They're caught in the middle of it. Cross chop. Can they get out? That's the question. The pursuit is there. The Lapras is there. The Delphox Firefire is there. Xingdi and Nakura screen perfectly and cut that off. BKZ stands and lives to see another day as the rest of Orangutan peels back.
Wow,
what a
big Horn Leech.
Going for the pokes. The Woodhammers are coming out, but there's no follow-up Spraggles until the Lapras pulls up. Mazo's putting the pressure on, but I don't know if they have the damage. Finally, Follow-up is back in the mist, chucking fireballs, but like Mario, might just be a little bit late bouncing over that Goomba.
Insane escape there from Orangutan, just doing everything they needed. Like you said, the perfect screen, just blocking for their squishier Pokemon that somehow got out of that insane exchange. We see Ice diving in towards this Delphox right now as this Reg Ice is just being torn apart. Already at half half here as the wood hammers are flying, and Reg Ice is going down to the side of Orangutan.
Zacian takes it, but the pressure was real. Bliss's is on Xingdi to convert there. Kerr is peeling back, and so is the rest of Orangutan. They cannot overstay their welcome because 0-0 Nation's on the mission. They get the big-time KO that they want, and that's credit to Mazo for that one. The push continues. Kerr is the next one down. The Delphox fireballs are finally hitting their mark, and now they're moving forward. Playing behind Mazo is easy. Lel's actually frontlining, and now they're sieging this goal zone. The faithful fireworks are out. KO Shrink a 2 for Bob. They're finding their mark. Can they make it 3? No. Lola Ninetails gets credit for that, and all of a sudden 0-0 Nation says we back, baby. 100 Nation, we doing it, bud.
Look at this right here, up by almost 100 points. Incredible fight there from 0-0 Nation. They had, once again, that Delphox Unite move, able to cut them off at the goal zone. They saved it for the perfect moment when they wanted to fight right there. And of course, like any good Delphox, it will have it back here for Rayquaza. We now have Orangutan moving up to this top path, dealing with this Regieleki. It doesn't look like 0-0 Nation is going to want to do anything about this. Maybe look for a sneaky steal. Not going to happen right now as they're going to back away from this fight. They should be able to clean this up pretty easily and get ready for Rayquaza in about a minute here.
If 0-0 Nation is paying attention, Orangutan approaches every single objective the same way. Send Ice way far forward to try and buy as much time as possible as they rip the objective down. If 0-0 Nation can show up to an objective, not necessarily this game, as Rayquaza is the next one we got, but game 2, if they show up to the objective before the other team, before Ice can actually get deep, they can jump on top of the objective and get a surprise attack from the other team. Something to watch out for in the future, but we got 30 seconds to Rayquaza in this one.
Yeah, big moment here for these two teams. Orangutan behind right now, but not by much. They can peel off and get a score right here as we see Blissey being pushed back right now, and we actually have a little bit of a fight breaking out right before Rayquaza. That could have been our Ray fight if someone got caught there in that moment, but everyone is able to peel back. We have Unite moves full for every single member of both of these teams, and this is that moment that we always feel here. You especially feel it here in the stadium, the calm before the storm. You know something is about to pop off, but the question is who is going to make the play as Ice gets vision for the team and pushes forward right here. You can see the Mystical Fire flying out. You can see the snipe shots looking for their mark. Mystical Fire lets you know when you hit a target because it gives you a reset, so they know Zacian was right there.
Southtail's caught out. They're getting buckled. Xingdi comes in. Trevenant Unite pops because they have to use it. Ice is peeling back, but the fanciful fireworks are on top just to protect their Trevenant. The tree getting saved by a fire. Can you believe it? Xingdi gets caught out by the... Finally, Bliss's is the long range. Gets the KO on the Trevenant. They're able to convert. Alelo 9 does go down. That's 3 players with champion. I just found the mark. Delphox just makes it back, but they got enough firepower on the tanks. That's a big question. 4 players down for 0-0 Nation. And now Orangutan has flipped the script. Ice is playing in the face of the Delphox, and they're ripping another objective. Just the strategy I said before. Wasn't sure it would apply to Rayquaza, but they're getting it done right now. Bang! Rayquaza for game 1, going to the monkeys.
Orangutan taking this one here. Dramatic fight as they take down 4 members of 0-0 Nation, and the 5th stuck in a look that is so mean. Only Umbreon could supply it right here. 504, 194. We have 1 minute left, but they still have Rayquaza shields. They still have Eos energy in their pockets. They can continue to score right here, and what a beautiful fight there from Orangutan.
A very rare misstep out of Salto, one of the best defenders we have here in day 2. They get caught out on the tree, and it was really the beginning of the end. That was not the point in which they wanted to engage. They had to use 2 Unite move Spraggles just to try and sustain Salto. It was not enough, and Orangutan gets it done.
Orangutan getting it done here in game number 1, 0-0 Nation right now. 1 game away from heading home. They are going to need to change something as we move into game number 2. They look like they had a great, match for a lot of that right there. Very, very close, but their fights just never really seem to come together. We're gonna have to see if they have a different draft strategy, something else, because they are on the ropes and their only lifeline is winning their next game. Let's throw it on over to Zoinks and Chef to break this whole thing down.
One moment really defined that matchup. Zeus Nexus Fraggles called it out perfectly. Trevenant being caught out in that position, and 3 Unite moves expended to save them. And not small ones either. Yeah. Blissey Unite move, Trevenant Unite move, and the Delphox Unite move, all used in defense of Salto. Able to keep that player up, but in the end, It just comes down to the rest of Orangutan, who still have those epically powerful Unite moves to swing the momentum the other direction.
Yeah, and then the repositioning after that was so good. It would be very easy, especially, trying to use a lot of those Unites to try and save the situation where you can very potentially kind of be like, wait a minute, what was all of that? Where is everybody now? But we saw the rotation back from Orangutans being this really nice kind of re-engaged position, and they took full advantage of it.
Absolutely, and look at the story of that match, a very close game up until that final stretch. And again, I really want to hammer home that point of that final fight being so indicative of how this match went. Fall putting up a very impressive performance on the Delphox, though, regardless, 117,000 damage, with ZZ Ray with extremely high snipe shot game, actually running 97,000 damage on that Pokemon while using a very big burst last hit style move.
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing really high damage now from a lot of these snipe shot Inteleons, but I feel like a lot of the time that we see the snipe shot Inteleon, it tends to fall a little bit short in those final situations. Yeah. However, you mentioned this actually before. I do really like it based on kind of how the rest of this team works. There's a lot of this frontline damage, and it's following up a lot of the engagements that you can take either with the Zacian or with Machamp.
I like to consider it the hammer and anvil style of strategy. You have a lot of setup coming from Snipe Shot because Eldegoss can only heal so much so quickly. You get that shutdown when the Zacian or Machamp can dive in at that moment. And those Machamp Unite moves from BKZ were looking amazing. This is a Pokemon that gets overlooked in pretty much every competitive setting every time we see it, but BKZ putting on a showcase showing that this Pokemon should not be overlooked, and these Unite moves, if placed absolutely perfectly, can really swing a team fight. Wow, 0-0 Nation kept it extremely close in these final seconds, though. Blissey getting a KO into Soto, and unfortunately, Valve just not able to close out any specific knockouts. That's a secure on the Rayquaza, and Orangutan putting themselves up 1-0, and again, in an elimination match against 0-0 Nation.
And you can see, even in that victory screen there, they were stressed as they should be. But player of the game with 122,000 healing, that's going to be Ikura on the Blissey. Very well earned. That is a lot of healing. Look at that. Oh, that is actually a great gas.
Yeah, I absolutely want that.
Yeah.
Ikura, could I have that, please? They can't hear me, unfortunately. Yeah, I really want that Pokemon really bad. I'm a big Ghost fan. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but that I do like those Pokemon quite a bit. Gengar next game, maybe? We'll have to see.
Yeah. Definitely.
When it comes to drafts, it's some interesting things, but we do want to take a look at a little bit more in depth at 0-0 Nation, as we have a cool team interview with them to take a look at.
We're 0-0 Nation, we're the first seed from Brazil, and we're here to win Worlds.
We won 10 out of the 11 official tournaments in our region because, from the beginning, we're just 5 good players. But then, with time, we gained more synergy as a team, we started playing better together, and then that translates well into this year and this tournament.
Last year, we got knocked out early in the tournament. No one expected because we won 5 of the 5 tournaments. The loss was hard on us because we didn't expect it, but we move on. This year we have more preparation, so I think with our coach, Replicate, we have a really good preparation in draft and other stuff, in gameplay. We are confident to play this group.
We are very proud to represent Brazil. This is our second year representing Brazil, and we want to prove this year that last year was just a fluke and that we can do much better than what we did.
And that we deserve 4 slots.
É incrível estar no Japão, porque como eu gosto muito de desenhos, animes orientais, é tipo como estar na casa deles, é muito divertido.
Quando eu ganhar o Mundial, eu vou sentir que o trabalho terminou e eu realmente bati meu ponto.
When we win the money, I will probably spend it all on Pokémon Center plushies and electronics, a Game Boy and maybe a new Switch.
Now I'm gonna ask questions taken out of this head to all of these guys. If you could ban one team from the tournament, who would it be and why?
TALIBOBO, because they're the most threatening team in our group, and that would make a lot easier to make it to day 2.
0-0 Nation celebrating on stage. You can see this. This was that iconic moment when they made top 8 bracket after defeating TALIBOBO Believers. What a game from this team. That energy is incredible.
I know. Look at them dancing. Elio, by the way, with the sunglasses, coolest look I think of any player that we had in the entire tournament. Definitely my big vote. I love 0-0 Nation. I love their kind of energy. I love their overall just mental. And right now, I mean, they're going to have to put it to the test because we are one match away from them being eliminated by Orangutan here.
Speaking of energy, Brazil fans, we need you to send 0-0 Nation yours. Send them all your energy as they are down 0-1 in this elimination match against Orangutan. Obviously, they have proved that they belong here on this world stage, having a better performance than last year, but they are aiming for a championship title, and APAC East currently stands in their way.
I think, though, that they can do it. I think they're a team that could make it all the way through. Remember, when they qualified against TALIBOBO Believers, they were down one game, and then they won the next two straight. They're a team that really adapts well, and I think a lot of it is due to the fact that they don't ever seem like they're fully down mentally. They're just always can bounce back. They've got good synergy. They've got good friendship.
That Lapras first pick is going to be locked in place for 0-0 Nation. They're going to be able to implement that in the top path yet again. Orangutan does not have the option to grab the Urshifu. Instead, they're going to grab both the Alolan Ninetales and the Umbreon, the best defenders in class, and they're actually going to choose A9 over the Inteleon. So a preference towards this ice type instead of Inteleon.
That's actually very interesting. It's very rare that we see a Lapras and an Inteleon get on the same team. Usually they're either going to be on opposite sides, or one of them at least, or maybe both is going to be banned. The Blissey getting picked up as well, been working very, very well. Blastoise on the other side with the Hoopa going for the double defender.
Wow, yeah, I mean, Blastoise Hoopa is an absolutely wild combination. And now that you have Umbreon on your side, Blastoise is a whole lot safer. One of the biggest components of that Hydro Typhoon is that huge shield you get. Umbreon can take that away in a moment. However, having it on your composition means you're going to be a little bit safer. Gardevoir locked in here from 0-0 Nation. Last time we saw this Gardevoir was in path. They played it in the bottom path, did not put it in the central area. Dodrio going to be grabbed up from Valve, though. This is the heart of Brazil, is this Dodrio. It has defined their metagame for quite some time now.
I feel like there's a lot of directions that the 0-0 Nation could go as far as where they send each of their Pokemon in path, and that's going to be really cool to see when it actually happens. But the final pick is going to be that Zacian. It's been working extremely well, but I feel like, to me, the standout here is the Gardevoir. It can chunk down so many of the picks of Orangutan.
If it doesn't get knocked out first.
True,
right?
true.
There are so many asterisks around this Gardevoir pick. You're right. If it works out perfectly, if everything happens for 0-0 Nation in the right spot, it can be incredible. But Orangutan has a heck of a tool chest to try to shut that down on the other side. Zacian, Umbreon, Alolan Ninetales, of course the Hoopa in these big moments. So many pivotal Pokemon that can take over games. It is game number 2 of this elimination game. Orangutan on match point. Spraggles, Doobsnacks, bring us through it.
Oh boy, well I can tell you this, Doobsnacks. I think 0-0 Nation got exactly what they wanted in that draft, but I don't know if they got exactly what they needed. We're gonna have to find out as we head into this game with some really amazing picks, and then for me, some head scratchers at the end. I did not expect to see Dodrio and Gardevoir's final picks.
I didn't either, but what they're doing here, and especially the way that Orangutan closed out their draft, they are stress testing Akura right now. Every hyperspace hole that Akura lays down needs to be an absolute hero play. Between the Gardevoir and the Dodrio, that's crazy amounts of static in the front, be able to pot shot. This is going to be tough sledding, and I like what 0-0 Nation has put together.
I like what they put together as well. It's crazy to see this Zacian that was so dominant from Orangutan go as a final pick here for Xingdi. But that is what has happened here in game number 2. This is a must-win for 0-0 Nation, as we've mentioned before. Brazil's last hope here at the World Championships. 0-0 Nation could continue on in this tournament, but they have to beat Orangutan 2 in a row, and that last match, Orangutan shut them down handily at Rayquaza.
Without a doubt, I like this path. If you're going to put this Gardevoir with anybody, of course, give it a nice escort in the Lapras. So I like what they're doing there. The pressure of 3 up top is looking pretty good, as it looks like the Sabo was knocked out rather quickly. And now, all of a sudden, Orangutan has a couple points on the board, getting some stacks going. But Orangutan, or excuse me, 0-0 Nation Fob is ready to engage and ready to put the absolute beatdown on BKZ.
Yeah, really amazing drill peck right there, but what a defense from the side of Orangutan, and that's just that Hoopa, man. I mean, such a difficult Pokemon to deal with. Nice drill peck, stealing away all of that experience right there so that it was secured by the side of 0-0 Nation. And those are a lot of the plays we're going to be looking for as we head down to this bottom path right here. Zacian absolutely cleaning things up as this Lapras tries to defend on the goal zone. Gardevoir with the pot shots from afar, as we talked about, but they are not able to stop the scores.
Believe it or not, it was actually Z-Ray's Blizzard Avalanche tandem that actually got Xingdi caught behind that block of ice and couldn't get the KO on Wolf. Otherwise, it would have been all 3 players down, and they would have had a great siege of that goal zone.
You can hear the crowd in here cheering for our suits right now. Very kind of them. Every once in a while, they just look on over to us and throw out a big cheer. I mean, I really appreciate it. The suits! Let's go with the suits. As we head up here to our top path, we can see this Blissey now ticking over to level 5, on par with the enemy Wartortle. Not good for Orangutan. That Pokemon needs so much XP, as once again, Inteleon just being ripped apart.
Yeah, not only was it ripped apart, there's a quality KO. Xingdi got every Swablu in the middle, and now it's so much so, they're getting so large that they're literally looking to pivot anywhere else on the map. Akura's going to be able to move their players quickly, so every attempt on a goal zone by 0-0 Nation is going to be tough right now.
Nice drill peck, but getting caught right here. Able to jump kick out just barely, moving on in with a boosted but not able to pick up a KO. Zacian is back at full HP. The question is, do they want this fight? As Ice is in a lot of trouble, the focus band is being popped. They do go down. We have this amazing Sacred Sword, but Blissey stays standing.
Yeah, fortunately, Akura still is in the pocket. They got opportunity to put the save down if they need to. They just go with quick Phantom Force for disruption. BKZ's putting tons of pressure on Falb, actually. Oh, but the hoop is knocked out before it can reset. Now BKZ's desperately trying to make it back, luring the opposition into Xingdi, who is getting, again, rather large here, already level 8, the biggest thing on the map.
Yeah, really nice stuff, and there's that liquidation, just putting a ton of damage onto BKZ. They're in trouble. Level 6 for this Wartortle, not in a good spot right now as Registeel hits the bottom path. Reggie Alecki hits the top path right here. We're going to see what these teams want to do as 4 members of Orangutan are in this bottom path, and 0-0 Nation has to make the long trek on foot. They don't have the Hoopa hyperspace holes.
So exactly what I was talking about. Ice just runs straight across the map, but it's only South Tao there. They can't make any pressure. Lola Ninetales cutting off the Lapras very quickly as South Tao's put more pressure onto Xingdi. They might get this KO by themselves. They're putting tons of pressure on. Nice Phantom Force to get the screen that they need. Hoopa gets KO'd, or excuse me, Hoopa KOs the Lapras, and Blissey gets the Alolan Ninetales back the other way. Wolf, though, is a Gardevoir. They are online, and they're looking for bodies, and they only catch one, as this Reggie is still standing. However, 0-0 Nation takes it. 17% better chance to win.
Here we go. Do they get their 17% chance? They do, for all you percentage heads out there in the audience.
Hey, I know our numbers, guys, in the back are popping off for that, just like this Dodrio. I mean, Falb is finding their mark and being able to leverage it in a big way. Nice, very singularity to try and screen this goal zone. They want to close it now. Will they be able to? Yes.
Yes, they do. And what an amazing score right there. You saw Lapras able to score in that final moment there with 22 before the 39 from Inteleon. Beautiful stuff. 119-64 here for 0-0 Nation. They are up in this match, and they are looking like a different team than Game 1.
Suddenly, they have 3 level 10s dwarfing anything on the side of Orangutan outside of Xingdi on the Zacian, who's getting caught right now with no support, and that's a huge KO into the hands of Mazo. Great experience for them. Nice mean look is trying to trap Falb, is doing a pretty good job, but not enough damage there to follow up. Unable to put the pressure on is Z-Ray, and now Orangutan has to sit on their goal zone.
And now you can see Falb, obviously, Ice is looking for Falb. Every chance they get with what a massive surf. I mean, surf's up if there's ever a time to say it. It's right there, but it's not good for 0-0 Nation. Using the Bliss assistance to keep the Gardevoir healthy, and somehow they pull themselves out of that massive moment.
Xingdi comes up trying to make a hero play, but it's a 4-on-1, and they get buckled. KO streak of 3 for the Inteleon. Now Z-Ray has to peel. The surf comes through, kind of darts through, but doesn't hit their mark as Wolf is just out of range. And that goal zone sitting at 2 can spell disaster.
Obviously, they want Wolf to be able to put their 40 points in right here, but Orangutan knows this. They are defending this goal zone very well. We have 19 seconds now until we have another Reggie spawning in that bottom path. I don't know what the stats are on them taking a second Reggie, but you know what? I bet it goes up to at least 18, maybe even 19% if they get the first 2 right here. And you can see both teams deciding how they're going to want to play this. If they don't leave someone top on the side of Orangutan, they can run these points in. But at the same time, they have this Hoopa. So this is a play they can actually make right now as they decide to break it for only 5.
Break it for only 5 means that they can make plays other ways here, but they're going in for a big fight. We see the Hydro Typhoon come out, but it doesn't really clip anybody as they're putting the pressure on. It's just Lel trying to sustain themselves, but it's Z-Ray that gets the KO. They're sieging this goal zone a good way. Nice little stun on Southtown. We see the big laser beam from the Unbound Hoopa as Wolf comes up. It's up to them to try and protect this thing. Dodrio from long range ships up Xingdi. They turn to the script and take out the A9. Z-Ray sent packing. Oh, they're putting tons of pressure on Spraggles, and this thing keeps rages on. Bob is trying to find their mark, but they get KO'd by the Surf, and somehow Orangutan gets some points on the board and doesn't get absolutely wiped in that exchange.
I guess we're going to have to wonder whether or not it would have been a better call to not bring up Dodrio. Just let Dodrio secure that bottom objective as this fight is still raging on. The Lapras coming in with the Lapras Express and the Parish Song, not able to pick up that Hoopa as they're trying to chase it down. Somehow, throughout all of this, 0-0 Nation gets this Reggie Alecki, and that Reggie in the bottom path is just hanging out all by their lonesome as Orangutan has to deal with this now, and now Dodrio on that bottom Reggie, securing it for the side of 0-0 Nation.
Yeah, we see, of course, Inteleon peeling down that way to help out as well. Mazo going to give a little bit damage as Xingdi is working. They get Lel. They're going to try and get Wolf. They get credit for that too, as 0-0 Nation secures the basement Reggie.
Very nice secure there from 0-0 Nation. Obviously, Gardevoir getting caught out was just sort of the cost of that Reggie for the side of 0-0 Nation. But boy, does Zacian just make quick work of a Gardevoir. As soon as it gets next to it, it is over. This Pokemon just been so amazingly dominant right here, especially in the hands of Xingdi, as somehow, Doomsnacks, we're at the end of this match. And this could be the end of the road for 0-0 Nation. They are ahead right now. They are ahead by more than 100 points, but this fight could be incredibly close, and Orangutan has a game to give, so they could look to take this Rayquaza right now, and the fight's starting. Blissey with the Bliss assistance.
On top of Lapras is not the target they want. The rest of Orangutan peels back, but they're low on HP. They're trying to go. The Dodrio gets in there, gets a key KO on low. 9 deals 2 players down, and right through. Rips through with the drill pack. The Hoopa Unbound is KO'd. There's 4 players down, and it's just Xingdi standing. Dodrio's going for it, and they're on the chase. Can they get Xingdi? They can certainly get themselves a Rayquaza, as all of a sudden a 0-0 Nation coming to life.
And look at this right here. What a beautiful score as that goes in. 98 some points right into 100, into another 100, 550, 129. Even with a minute and a half left, the points continue to rain in. 0-0 Nation is still in this thing. They are going to tie this up 1-1 against Orangutan. Woohoo! What a I mean, come on, Mazza. You can't hit him in their base like that.
I mean, they got every pick they could have dreamed for in that bounce back game. I mean, you look from top to bottom, these are Pokemon that they used yesterday to dispatch of Talibobo believers, and they're in here against Orangutan, and they're getting them all over again. They know how to play these Pokemon. They're going to leverage them very, very well, as they're committed to putting more points in and proving that they deserve to be on that stage.
Let me tell you, it feels like this Inteleon from both of these teams, whether it's Liquidation on the side of 0-0 Nation or the Snipe Shot from Orangutan, was a big difference maker in these games. I wonder what priority that Pokemon is going to get here in our next round, as we are in what is known as fun time. These two teams just get to continue to have fun, put insane amounts of damage. That Gardevoir Unite landed, you know what? They knew exactly where the enemy team was, folding them up like a big bag of grapes.
Beating them up like a big bag of grapes. They're just throwing the fists everywhere and stuff at this time. Like you said, we're in garbage time. They're padding the stats. They're getting those numbers up. And we're going to see how high we can actually get them as Xingdi ends this thing with a KO streak of 4. But you know what? That's cute and all, but you just lost that game.
Yes, you did. All tied up here in our losers bracket. I need to hear from the dynamic duo, Wonder Chef Zoinks. Break it down for us, gents.
See the disappointment on the faces of Orangutan. They certainly did not want to be tied up against 1-1 to a passionate team like 0-0 Nation. You see them popping up. You see them representing their organization. I think more importantly in this situation, representing their region. They want to be pushing forward in this bracket, proving that Brazil is one of the best in the world.
They are doing such a great job. That is exactly how I feel. I honestly could not have described that even better. I need that right now. I'm so exhausted. But honestly, there's so much more to go. And yeah, I have to say, the biggest thing here, it's the mental game. 0-0 Nation and elimination points. They just switch switch up their comp completely, and they just have fun, and they're bullying in the opponent's main base.
I asked the entire Brazilian region to send their energy. Any fans of 0-0 Nation, I think it worked out so well right there. We are tied up 1-1. Let's take a look at that game score overall. 0-0 Nation really starting to take over at the midway point of that game. We saw a huge goal zone siege from them that really helped them have a big score lead up until those moments. And there we go. It turns around with a Rayquaza last hit secure.
Yeah, that trio really securing all of that. So I'm excited to see the damage. Wow. Look at that. Wow, from kind of everybody on 0-0 Nation, and kind of also everybody on Orangutan did pretty good damage as well.
A lot of fighting going on in this matchup in particular, so obviously these damage numbers are going to be looking high. However, I think both Mazo and Wolf putting up 6-digit numbers apiece is truly impressive, and it just showcases how these long-range Pokemon can be a pretty solid counter towards this Zacian. We've been looking for one. We've been desperately trying to find some way to shut down this Pokemon, and well, maybe just this poke damage from range is too much for this legendary Pokemon to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, especially too, weirdly enough, you really think of Dodrio as this real, like, heavy, like, I'm gonna dive all the time type Pokemon, but also it can do a great job of peeling. It has one of the best kind of charge, knock people back moves in the entire game, so there are some really cool options as far as that goes, but honestly, I think it really did come down to the positioning of 0-0 Nation, and their ranged carries was so good.
And having that pocket Blissey has been huge the entire matchup. Lel just providing so much support to the entire squad. Orangutan looking pretty good in that team fight, but the comebacks from 0-0 Nation across the board have been looking so good. And Teleon from Baby Mazo looking extremely exceptional. This liquidation pop up into that Gardevoir Unite move. What a great team fight from 0-0.
Yeah, this was just the epitome of, yeah, we are back in this set. We are back to make a statement, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, it was a great game for them entirely, the entire way through for 0-0 Nation, but I think they just really solidified it even an extra level with not even giving an inch in that final moment. And it wasn't like there was a pick, it was just a great initiation and follow-through.
Mazo earning themselves the MVP, player of the game in this game specifically, running the acrobatics liquidation. And we talk a whole lot about the more damaging move of Inteleon. We don't talk about the mobility option too much. I mean, Felsinger, acrobatics, both solid options. Felsinger more often if you want to have that constant critical hit counter, always up at 2 or 3 pips. However, acrobatics as a mobility option just to get out of danger sometimes might be a little more key. And maybe Mazo playing that one very well in that game.
Yeah, there's a big reason why we're seeing Inteleon as the most picked special attacker. Like, sure, yeah, Chandelure can do like 100,000 damage. Alonite's is doing 100,000 damage, but Inteleon also is so hard to lock down, while the rest of them are very, I would say, susceptible to diving, which is kind of the classic for a special attacker. But we'll see if we see a very similar comp. The Gardevoir and the Dodrio, I feel like, worked out amazingly, but now it's time for a chance to adapt for Orangutan as we get into the bands of game number 3.
Backs against the wall, 0-0 Nation throw a curveball in game number 2 to have a comeback, but now they are still in that same scenario. 10 minutes of Pokemon Unite to decide which of these teams still has a championship shot. Slowbro and Urshifu, the two bands, Orangutan probably will be going towards this Lapras. However, the Umbreon dedication from this team has also been pretty big. Let's see what Orangutan wants to grab. Awesome. I totally said that one as well. Everybody knows at home.
Yeah, Umbreon and Teleon, similar names to me, but no, never Gengar. Oh, wait a minute, is this going to be a real early pick? No, I'm getting trolled every single time. Yep, there we go, I already called against it. The Blissey is working really great, the Lapras is a great pick, but to go talk back to the first pick, I think Inteleon was a great pick because you just can't let 0-0 Nation get that again. They've shown that his Baby Mazo is just too good with that Pokemon, and now they've got some of the strongest meta attackers you could possibly ask for.
Leafeon here is a risk, but it is an exceptional Pokemon if Mazo wants to select it. You can actually see them on the bottom side of your screen debating with their team if this is the proper choice. A lot going into this one, and those two selections are going to be Leafeon and Goodra. So Goodra going to be happening again for 0-0 Nation. It looked so good for them against Talibobo Believers just last night. Let's see if they can still use it to perfection against Orangutan.
Goodra's been an amazing pick. Every single time we've seen it It's been rare, but it has worked. And on the other side, we are going to get the play. Oh, this is such a scary front line altogether. And blocking in to end it with that Machamp. That is going to be hard to take them all down with that Moonlight healing. But one final pick here. Will it be the Gardevoir again? It will. I think this is a great comp on the side of 0-0 Nation. I think it's terrifying on the side of Orangutan as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, they just have a really traditional comp outside of that, but Champ, of course, BKZ back on that one. However, Gardevoir is going to have an interesting protection. Look at Valve's item loadout. Muscle Band and Rapid Fire Scarf on Goodra. Of course, that gooey passive, getting that boosted auto attack, it has a chance to slow the enemy when it hits with that big boosted auto. So, having that option is going to make Xingdi and BKZ's life a little bit tougher as they try to find these squishy backline targets of both Leafeon and Gardevoir. Let's see if Valve can put the stick on to the enemies.
Oh, that's right. It's time for the Goodra or the Badra, but I really want to see this pop off. Last chance for both these teams. Orangutan, 0-0 Nation, Spreggles, Dupe Snacks. Let's see who moves on and who goes home.
That's right. It all comes down to this one match between these two teams. Someone is out of our world championships and someone is moving on here. Will it be Orangutan? Will it be 0-0 Nation? Really strong drafts from both of these teams. Big comfort picks on both sides for these teams. You're seeing the Machamp for BKZ. You're seeing Wolf on that Gardevoir. Mazo bringing in that Leafeon. I'm not shocked, by the way, Doob Snacks, to see that first pick in Teleon. We talked about it. Such a difference maker for these two teams.
And the way Orangutan is built, it looks like they're going to lean back into the snipe shot. I mean, that is just a clump of bodies that they're going to have in front of that Inteleon. Give it the range and space it needs to work, and cross your fingers that that Inteleon snipe shot rings true every time it's fired.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it does, they're going to have some real trouble on the side of 0-0 Nation. As you can see, we're powering up this Leafeon right here. They can send it to path very early. And while they are doing that, they also are sending over that blue buff to the Gardevoir there in the bottom path.
Yeah, and that's just a good way to get it off to a strong start. Of course, it needs to get to that stage 2 evolution and rank up very quickly. This is a Clefable that's going to go down without a doubt. Akura just buying time. And intelligently enough, 0-0 Nation allows that Solar Blade to get the KO and giving the most experience over to Mazo.
Yes, extremely intelligently as we head down to our bottom path here. Lapras with the Whirlpool pushing forward right here. Nice big Ice Shard trying to stop that, but no, it heads on over to Ice. There's the mean look, and there it goes.
So good. Ice has been critical and very surgical with those mean looks, able to get just on the outer ring just before they can get out of the range. And then, of course, Xingdi comes in and delivers just in time.
Mazo coming out right here with the Solar Blade, but it's too late. Hiding for that fight. Here comes the mean look, and they may be looking to take this down. There were 8 points on that Zacian. That is what you need for Intrepid Swords, that you get, you know, those 2 moves off at once, those 2 big Sacred Swords. Did not happen, however, as we head up to the top path right here. Looks like it's gone pretty well for both of these sides. However, we still have a chancey, so they do need one more chunk of EXP.
Yeah, and it's tough because that Goodra is also very EXP hungry here. You know, a defender typically holds an experience share in most cases. Ice able to take that berry and sprint out of range. So, I mean, there's a couple things going against 0-0 Nation. Fortunately, they have hit the Blissey now.
And here we go. Nice big dynamic puncher. We're seeing a different Machamp here in this game. Huge Solar Blade, but up comes the Zacian. Everyone retreating slightly as Valve's pushing forward.
Solar Blade was lined up, can't quite get the KO, but now BKZ goes down. That Solar Blade, and the next one just clefts them in twain.
You know, it's really impressive when you see a player on something like Zoroark and some of the plays they make. And I have to say, Leafeon is another playmaker like that. You throw your moves, you bounce back with a Razor Leaf, you get a reset on something, you move back in with the Unite move. It really feels like there's so much skill expression from this Pokemon. And when you have a player like Mazo on them, they really put on a show.
That's without a doubt. Good experience going over to the side of 0-0 Nation, trying to get that Gardevoir online. They're level 7, but that Curly is about to take over. Nice engagement here. It's a 3-on-2. The egg comes in, but I don't think that's enough to save them from Xingdi. And no, we get a KO back on Ice the other way. So an exchange 1-for-1 here. Salto able to get credit for that. Now it's a 3-on-1 push. Z-Ray still a Drizzile forced to peel back, and that's going to be 58 points and an overdunk of 8 there to give them the point lead.
And obviously, the overdunk is not ideal, but what's super ideal is taking this first objective. We all know the numbers, baby.
17% for those of you at home. When 0-0 Nation takes it, looking to win.
They got a 17% better chance of winning once they secure that. That's how good our numbers people are backstage. They know stuff like that, and that's incredible.
Hey, throw more numbers on the screen. We will repeat them ad nauseum. We got you, dog. Come on, numbers team.
And here we go. We can see Xingdi chasing down right now, actually getting caught out a little bit by the Psychic and Psyshock there from Gardevoir as this Regieleki pushes towards the top path, and it's just something Goodra is going to have to deal with for the side of 0-0 Nation. Machamp still up there, possibly deciding when they're going to fight, possibly just deciding if they can score or make something happen against this Goodra, as all this experience is being gobbled up here by the side of Orangutan.
Good damage on to Xingdi, and that's a nice backdoor by South. We see the Fairy Singularity come in, but doesn't pull anybody. The Perish Ticks are trying to go up, but Ice is trying to get out. Ice goes down to save Xingdi and Z-Ray. That is just the order of the day for this Orangutan squad.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love that Gardevoir Unite move. They said, look, I'm caught in a bean look. I have a very good idea where this Zacian's gonna go, right where I am standing. Unfortunately, not able to catch them right here, as we see Falb heading into the central area here of Orangutan, possibly picking up a big KO, and they do, using their Unite move, absolutely worth it for the side of 0-0 Nation.
That is an amazing expenditure of that Unite move. The Goodra just slime timing all over Xingdi. Rusted Sword getting a little wet right now, looking to get a little rustier. Falb, however, finally a Goodra, and now making an impact.
And here we see Z-Ray moving up to this top path. They did decide to go with Liquidation this time around, so switching up from that Snipe Shot. We see that Acrobatics on it as well, as we have a little bit of a fight in the bottom path. Unite move for Unite move. Is anyone go down? BKZ continuing to fight on this point. We're looking for another Solar Blade here from Mazo. They jump in. Can they make it happen? No, they miss.
They are able to muscle through the slow of the Goodra. That second Solar Blade, though, that certainly hit. And credit to BKZ. They just held that goal zone down in the face of 2 level 10s.
Yeah, incredible stuff right there. Another big Unite move from Gardevoir. Only catches 1 as Orangutan is ready to siege this goal zone. Not a great overcap, but it is gone. That way they can deal with this Regieleki, push it towards a tier 2. But once again, 0-0 Nation on the other side of the map, taking this Regice, securing another. And as we said before, that's got to move it up to 19%, baby.
At minimum. You have to give credit again for Ice right there, catching the Gardevoir in the mean look so that the rest of the team could score on the backside of that goal zone, just out of range of that Psyshock attack. So good look by that. I mean, this is very even right now, Spraggle.
Yeah, this match is so incredibly close. 0-0 Nation had some nice scores early, but in general, you look across the board, level-wise, almost the same from both of these teams. Score-wise, still within 100 points for Orangutan, as they are catching Soto here in the top path. Seeing if there's anything they can do. Big Unite move coming in from Leafeon. Are they able to pick up a KO? They jump on in, not able to take them down. We see them continuing the chase, but no, another miss.
That Ice mean look was sick, dude. Diving in front, making sure that Mazo had to run around them if they wanted to get to Xingdi. Xingdi is now over half HP, and that is going to at least get them out of dodge. Another goal zone closed. The lead is growing for 0-0 Nation, but again, if you're just looking at levels, this thing feels even.
It feels incredibly even if you're looking at levels, if you're looking at fights. I mean, 0-0 Nation getting really, really aggressive right here, making some big plays. Obviously not able to pick up the KO, but you have to give it to them. Great overcap there in the top path, and they're in a great position. However, 70 points in that bottom tier 1 goal zone means that Orangutan can make some really interesting plays and come back in a big way. So we see 4 members of Orangutan heading up towards this top path at the 3-minute mark, possibly looking for a sneaky fight. 5 members now.
Jumping in, and the Unite move is expended. They're taking a fight right now, and that's 1 player down. Solar Blade doesn't hit anybody, so that was a quick, dive to get the Goodra, I guess. That's a big time question mark, but now the Zacian's gonna have to get that Unite move.
Yeah, interesting. That was a really interesting fight for the side of Orangutan. One thing for sure is it put 0-0 Nation on the back foot. It's unlikely 0-0 Nation is going to be able to immediately take this bottom Reggie, and it looks like Orangutan knows that as they send 3 players down at it, and 0-0 Nation might be in a lot of trouble right here, as here comes Orangutan. They have the Zacian, they have the secure, and they take it.
That was a nice little follow me as well to get Wolf off of the objective so they can't have a little pot shot and try and take it for the team. But we got 15 seconds till Rayquaza. The pressure's on Orangutan to make a move. They're down by over 100. That being said, the levels look good. They got a real shot.
The levels look good. They have their Unite moves. They have that Reggie Rock buff, and they are ready for this fight. For these two teams, it all comes down to this. Right now, Orangutan, 0-0 Nation, their tournament is on the line. Fighting for their regions, fighting for the championship, the chance to stay here in the World Championship Finals for day 2. They're in our losers bracket. This game means it all. How will it start? Orangutan is behind. They are the team that needs to make the play. Ice getting pretty aggressive, getting some vision for their team. Falb staying here on the top path to make sure a score doesn't happen. And here comes Xingdi.
Xingdi goes straight for the dive, uses that Sacred Sword, puts tons of pressure on Falb. Now Falb's gonna have to do literally anything but join the fight. This might be the opportunity they're looking for. Tons of HP on Xingdi. They're moving forward though, nice engagement. Machamp Unite on the Gardevoir. They eject button through the wall. Blitz is on the Lapras. They're trying to put the pressure on Inteleon. Force out the Shedinja doll. There's the Clefable though, trying to get the HP up, but no, the first domino falls for Orangutan. The pressure continues. They're trying to swing through. Xingdi's shelling in a bunch of damage.
Whoa! Whoa! Gardevoir Unite!
That very singular, that eject button through the wall was the game-saving play. Just Xingdi stands. 0-0 Nation looking to make it happen. No, look at the pressure on the Blissey 2, putting the egg bombs in. Spraggles. 0-0 Nation off the back of the Wolf. Eject button through the wall. Come back. Very singularity from way down.
It is not over. Members of Orangutan are coming back. Xingdi is still here, but the HP is very low. They take down Xingdi, and they're turning their focus onto Rayquaza. But here comes Orangutan. Inteleon is here. Clefable is moving through the top path. They have one chance to do something right here. The Solar Blade doesn't take it, but they still get it. 0-0 Nation secures Rayquaza.
0-0 Nation secures Rayquaza. They're looking dead in the eyes of Orangutan, and they've planted the 0-0 Nation flag straight on the planet of the apes. They're saying Thea Sky Ruins now belongs to us, putting the monkeys back in the zoo. 0-0 Nation getting it done for Brazil.
And these are the last 5 seconds for Orangutan here in the World Championships as 0-0 Nation from Brazil makes it through an absolute war with Orangutan.
A war is an understatement. Great plays by both teams. I don't know how you look at that game and you don't. Everybody on 0-0 Nation needs to give a big ol' hug, high five, and a kiss to Wolf, because that getting caught in the Machamp Unite, a check button through the wall, become a non-factor for just that split second. Very singularity to literally blow up the entire Orangutan squad. I mean, they look like balloons. Just pop right in the middle. Sick business.
After I saw Gardevoir caught there, I thought it was all over for 0-0 Nation. I thought they were completely done. Beautiful Machamp Unite. Like you said, living on a sliver, living on a prayer. That fairy singularity finally found its mark, grabbing multiple members of Orangutan right there. You can see these two teams obviously hugging it out here. A lot of love for them. These are some of the best players in the world going at it here on the world's stage. Orangutan, amazing performance, amazing tournament, amazing year for this team. But 0-0 Nation, the Giant Slayers who took down TALIBOBO, dispatches another massive team.
You have to give credit again to Orangutan for how far they've made it into this event. Top 8, of course, dispatched there in the losers bracket here. Mazo just points to the watch. You know what time it is. It's time for 0-0 Nation to win their next game as they move on in this one. I can tell you, I mean, all of Brazil just went up on that win. Holy smokes, what a game, what a play. And I have to say it again, Wolf with the eject button of the absolute century.
Incredible stuff right here. And you can see 0-0 Nation in control of a lot of that match. We talk about this a lot. This huge moment where a team needs to make a play. They could let Orangutan make a mistake right there. And I don't even think they did. I just think they got outplayed barely by 0-0 Nation in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, if Wolf isn't on Giga Brain Galaxy mode, I mean, the game is over. It's lost there. That fairy singularity was the one turning factor that literally turned the tides as we watched these highlights from this amazing Game 3 Spraggles, which felt really even bell to bell.
Yeah, incredibly even. I mean, it felt like there were so many counters. I love this play, by the way. This Goodra picking up this KO. What a massive play right here. And Xingdi just felt like they set up every opportunity for this player, for this Sasha to do some incredible stuff. And here is that insane moment. You see this huge Unite move into this massive Fairy Singularity. There they come, grabbing 3 members.
You barely see Wolf, just the top of the Gardevoir head, show up on screen and actually fade back to hit that Fairy Singularity and make sure that it catches as many players as possible. And after that, it was just elementary. It was super Fisher-Price. The rest of 0-0 Nation just pivots on the Intellion Z-Ray, the last person standing, and take themselves a Rayquaza, and a big-time win.
Huge win. They are still here in this tournament. Incredibly impressive stuff. And I have to agree. I mean, look, there were some amazing hero plays throughout this fall. Incredibly impressive on this Goodra. A Pokemon that we only see a few teams pick up, but when they do, ooh, it's so good.
It was incredibly good. It was incredibly good. You said, you know, they were able to get that 1v1 KO on onto Xingdi there on